most especially to the Chief of Defense Staff of the Gambia Armed Forces. You know, your these titles, I don't know them. But I'm a brother, the same time an uncle and a friend. You are welcome to Upper River Region, CDS. And with all the other top brass of the military, particularly the Army Commander, the Gambia National Army, Njai, you are welcome. And all other senior officers here present, you are all welcome to Upper River Region. And I'm so happy that my former CEO is also here with me, and definitely you are welcome back to URR, and you are still part of us. We are happy whenever we see you. I can recall serious when the news came to me that Colonel Jaju was going out. I think I called you, but it was beyond all of us, and then that shows how definitely our working relationship in URR was. And when I was also mentioned that Lieutenant Colonel Dabo was also coming, I said, it's the same family. And he even called me to say, it's the one who was in Basi. I said, yes, it's the same family, and I know both of them, all of them. So as a result, we are comfortable, and I'm very much comfortable working with Lieutenant Colonel Dabo. And just like the way I have been working with Lieutenant Colonel Jaju, we will continue giving him all what it takes in order to make sure that the security force here goes to the higher height. That is my mission, and that is what I stand for every day. I will assure you that in Upper River Region, I think we are not bragging, but I think we have the best security unity as far as the regions are concerned. One is because what happened, all of them, we all see ourselves as one umbrella, and we are here to defend and protect and the properties and the people of Upper River Region. And as a result, that is going very fine. So we thank the leadership, because all these things, if you see it is happening, is the leadership that we have. Your leadership have demonstrated that honestly, the last person in the barracks can even fit in Upper River Region. And that shows what the leadership that we have. If not, what would have happened was we would have been receiving series of complaints as far as the military is concerned. But today I will tell you, we have a military that is community love. That one, even the smallest chap in this region knows how helpful the military is as far as communal work is concerned. Any communal work that happens in Upper River Region, they always call on the military, and they don't hesitate. They will respond in their large numbers. And today, the household, the military is a household name in all the compounds we have in Upper River Region. Honestly, it's not about. The demonstration here is, when you looked at it, we normally have what we call independence. Every 18th February, we have our independence. I will leave to go and celebrate at national level. But through the command, we were able to at least harmonize all the sister force until to a level that they now organize. When we are in the Greater Banjul area celebrating the independence, they are also in the military barracks celebrating the independence with at least the communities. In fact, it is an independent that has been, the communities are the ones that are even supporting them to celebrate it. That shows how community-military relationship or civil-military relationship is existing in the region. And this, no doubt about it, we are going to continue. But again, before going further, I want to reiterate and then express my sadness. Because just 2 days, 3 days ago, that some of our military officers were involved in an accident. They were in a noble cause, because they were in part of the patrol team that we are going around. Because you know, as far as Upper River Region is concerned, we are bordered on the 3 sides. And if it comes to vulnerability, we are the most vulnerable region. But we are trying all out to make sure that at least that vulnerability is not seen out in the plain. So we can be able to protect the last village in this region and protect the last person in this, so that they can be sleeping at night while the security forces will be doing. So on that note, I definitely, from the bottom of my heart, I pray for those injured soldiers, for them to recover as quickly as possible. I think this is the second or the third time that we are getting such a thing. But what makes it so distinct is because they are always doing it in the course of duties. So because in the course of duties, whatever comes your way, it is destined that it was going to happen. But definitely, when I heard about it, I was so shocked. And but we don't have anything to do but to make sure that at least we are able to do the needful at regional level, stabilize them, so that at least they are able to be evacuated and then to the hospitals where they can get what you call, treated. So we all join hands and we pray for them so that they can come and join us earlier. Aside from that, CDS, I will also want to tell you that here we have what we call the patrol team. The patrol team is a joint patrol team backed by the military. Because you have to understand sometimes when I am not a military this thing, but when you are on a patrol team, you must have a backup, and always the military serve as a backup to the patrol team. And as a result, they've been doing extremely well. When you look at it in the country, we were hit at some point that there were some attacks and other places that were robbed and so on. But alhamdulillah, in Upper River region, it did not happen. It's not because people are not seeing Upper River region, it's because of the unity that we have and the plans that we put in place in making sure that everybody is safe in this region. And that is going to continue, but that could not have happened without the support of you and your colleagues in the Security Council. So we need to thank you sincerely. And if you go to the Security Council on Monday, please express our sincere gratitude to all of them for the support that they have been doing, particularly with regards of mobility, with regards of fuel, for us to be able to at least do what is needed. If my people are sleeping, my officers and soldiers and security are out on the streets trying to protect them and protect their properties. Once again, we thank you for that. And to tell you again, when it comes to SIG, all these things is geared towards cooperation. If you see we are doing it as a team, it's not the governor, it's the cooperation that we have. We are a unified body. As a result, we don't distinguish who is who. When it comes to peace and stability, all of them are one and the same. So that one be rest assured of that. But again, CDS, I also make some little bit of tour these days, and I was able to visit some of the installations of where the military and other security forces stay. But with regards to the military, I think there should be an improvement as far as their accommodation is concerned. Serious improvement needs to be done. But I thank God that you are here, and you will not leave the military, the 3rd Infantry Battalion with your team without going around in making sure that at least you are able to see some of the things, so that at least they can also have, I know they are a bit better, so that's why they are stable, but we also want a better living condition for them, particularly with regards to the senior officers. I have visited the barracks, I have visited other places, and I have seen, but it's also important that for you also to take your time and you go and visit these places and see how best you can help them. Because I know Upper River region, again, as I always say, if you look at the heat condition of Upper River region, coupled with other issues, but yet still the men in uniform are very comfortable staying here. If that is the case, I think it is also better that we try to improve their living conditions, which I am definitely appealing to you people for us to see how best it happens, because they are my family. I cannot stay in a place that is better when my people over there are not. So I see myself like them. That is why sometimes I have the routine. I have to go out and see some of the installations and also see sometimes where they are and be closer to them, so that at least they know that I feel whatever they are. And that is exactly what we have also demonstrated today, so that you are coming to feel them, to see them and see the problem. And then we also look into that. I have also realized that there is also low voltage in the barracks. And as a result, some of the provisions that you provide, if the voltage goes down a bit and then they have stayed there for long, you see they started getting some little bit of smell and so on. I think the voltage issue needs to be, I think the capacity that they have there is bigger. So I was also discussing with Colonel, and we see how so that if we can have what we call a voltage controller like this one, bigger, because the ones that they have is small, but if you can have one like this, that can be able to stabilize the voltage, and then some of the things that you are bringing as provisions will not be spoiled. So one of the things is like that. And also I have realized also that, thank you so very much, the medical facility is one of the facilities that people of Basse want to go to, regardless of having the district hospital, regardless of having the Mango clinic here and all that sophisticated district, but they want always to go to the military clinic. And we are appealing if we can have what we call an expansion. In fact, when I went there that day, I told Colonel, I said, look, I think what is happening is sometimes they are taking even your provision as far as the medicine is concerned. But like everybody want to get there because they believe that that is where they, their privacy is, that is where also they are controlled and they are satisfied. So I am definitely want to indulge in you. We see how best we can improve on the facility, and so that the people outside also can get better things. So the other thing that we are talking about is the mobility aspect, which I went there and I was able to see, yes, mobility was not their problem, but we are able to see some of the vehicles that that they can be maintained quickly and they can serve us in case of, because like just imagine what happened now. One of the vehicles is off now. So meaning the others that are there, we see how best we can. And we are very thankful to you and to His Excellency, the President of the Republic, for trying to make sure that at least we get the bus, that that today, at least our men and women and the senior officers can go on their pass in a decent and civilized way. But we are all happy for that, and definitely even the soldiers there are so happy about that. And that could not have happened without your leadership. So we thank you so very much, and through you also, we thank the President of the Republic for fulfilling an obligation that we are all supposed to do. So once again, we thank you so very much and welcome you to Upper River region, and tell you that feel at home. This is the region where everybody wants, and you know this region very well. It is a region where you always like to come. But once again, we thank you so very much and welcome you. And we are very, very appreciative of your coming. That shows the leadership, the type of leader you are, because you are going out to see your family and you want to know what are their constraints, what are their progresses, and so on, so that when you go back, you will be able to develop. Definitely, I think these are things that each and every one of us should emulate, what we call from you. We are just learning. We are just young leaders. We are learning, but some of these things are things that we need to emulate. Once again, we thank you so very much, and I thank the media. And I'm sorry that this place is very tight, but because you have seen when you enter, there is a massive development taking place. I know in the next 1 year, if you come back here, we will have it in a very, very comfortable and a nice place. Once again, thank you.
Governor of the West of the Upper River region, Governor Samba Ba, the Army Commander, Brigadier General Syed Njai, the representatives of the sister services here present, other members of my delegation, the media, good evening, and thank you for the warm and very, very impressive reception that I've been given. Coming to Basse is always a pleasure, especially, with the presence or the support of the Honorable Governor. I also want to thank you for your leadership. You have really earned yourself the respect of the armed forces and the other members of the security fraternity. As governor, there is no doubt that you represent the president. You are the chief executive officer here. And the president is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. And security is the #1 priority of any government, any state. For without security, probably mayhem will happen. Security is paramount if we want to develop our society, if we want to make progress, if we want to move in all aspects of our lives. We need stability, we need peace. And that is why investments in security is also investment in development. We thank you because you understand that role, and you are playing a very, very active and important role in trying to galvanize the security fraternity here. Yes, you are right. URR has more front border with our neighboring country than any other region, because you are bordered with Senegal on the north, in the east, and also in the south. It's only towards the west where we come from that you have the Gambia as your gateway, but the rest is all another country. I also want to note that the URR is also very critical, because beyond Senegal you have Mali, and we all know the challenges that are in Mali. So the security of this region is very important and very paramount in our calculus. where you have terrorism, and porous borders, we have to be vigilant. We have to patrol day and night. We have to increase our foot on the ground. Patrols are good, but as you know, we've identified certain areas where we want to put boots on the ground so that they will be there permanently to observe and report back, and also be able to ward off any challenges. Throughout our interaction with the Gambians, especially in the northern part, the perennial question and challenge they pose to us is the issue of banditism across the border. The issue of, some criminal elements, with guns now, emboldened, crossing the border, targeting key villages and individuals to break their shops, to rustle their cattle and other small ruminants, and also even to threaten their ability to access their farmyards. And this is a challenge we are here to assess and also to take the required measures to stop them. Our armed forces is charged with the security and territorial defense of the country. And that is our number one mandate. So we will do everything we can to make sure that we use the resources we have to achieve and secure the country. Coming back to the issues you raised here, yes, of course, we are aware of most of them. Let me start with the issue of the cold storage. We've also taken measures to make sure that we solve them. Over the years, we have been buying these deep freezers and then giving it to the various locations. It was okay, but it's not adequate. So we've reviewed it and come up with a different strategy now. We are going to build a core room in all our major deployments. And the core room will be about a 20-foot container size and should be able to take care of all the perishable items that we supply them. That will be the first phase. Then in the subsequent phase, every point that we have a military deployment, we're going to build a core room that is commensurate to the size of the deployment. And that should be able to take care of their problem with food. Mobility, yes. We are sorry, and I want to extend my prayers as well to the gallant men and women who are involved in that unfortunate accident. As you rightly said, they were not on lesson. They are on patrol at night. The accident, I think, happened around 04 a.m. in the morning, whilst they were on routine patrol with the other sister services. We are informed that most of them have either been released or have been taken to hospitals where they will be taken care of. We are hopeful that this time around, even though all the 8 were involved in the accident, but probably we will add our prayers, and then hopefully there will be no fatalities. Of course, the vehicle had been damaged, but that can also be replaced as we go. We will also set up an inquiry to see what was the cause of it. Was it the vehicle that had the problems, or was it, some other human errors? And then we will put up measures to make sure that they are mitigated. With reference to Basse here also, we have been asked to renovate a camp in Yorobawal. Okay, I think it was being supported by the National Security Advisor's Office. Okay, and a lot of materials have been procured. And as we were coming, I passed through Sambuya. The project started last year, and you are aware of everything that went in. But we are happy to report that the roofings and other critical elements of the renovation has been completed, or almost completed. What remains is the plumbing and the tiling and the fencing of the material, of the camp. And we've seen that sand is on the ground. We are also informed that 4,000 bags of cement has already been delivered. So hopefully with that, Sambuya will be, a conducive place where our soldiers will be able to live. And with that also, we will go to Yarobawal and all the other deployments. After my tour, there is instruction from the Security Council that the Director of Operations of the military, Colonel Yoro Jallo, and the Sister Service Police will also embark on another assessment tour to see where the critical gaps in our deployments are, so that, we cannot be on every meter of our border, because it's a long border, it's a porous border, it's about 700 kilometers from the Bara all the way to Katong. But probably we'll look at where we are now, the official crossing points, and then assess where people have been using over the years to access our country unlawfully, and then probably complement one another. I also want to commend the cordial relationship that is now happily existing between our sister services, the armed forces, the police, the immigration, the drug law enforcement, the SIS, the customs, and the fire service are working hand in gloves. Like the governor said, national issues should be a collective endeavor. Everything we do should be a whole of government approach. And once we build that culture, once we build that esprit de corps and that consultation among ourselves, we will be able to complement one another. Sometimes in Farafenye, I was told that they are trying to emulate your very impressive, mobilization. And I'm sure we'll send them here to learn good lessons. But what they're trying to do, amongst ourselves, we look at our strong points and our weaknesses. Where the armed forces have patrol vehicles, the police have manpower and the immigration plus the other services. Maybe the customs, the SIS have the money back. So that together, we will use that and buy the logistics, the fuel, and then put them into the vehicles, and then we work together. Our collective weaknesses will be complemented. And at the end of the day, we'll be able to serve the Gambian people better. So that is something that we instruct and give in command to our representatives here, to make sure that we synergize. There is no competition here. We are all working for the same Gambian population, the same Gambian state, and inshallah, we will reinforce that. Of course, Basse is a long way, and then I'm sure they've been complaining, but thank God that, from the donations from the Commander-in-Chief, we were given 5 buses, which we have distributed, and Basse was the first one that we gave. As I was coming, I was put under pressure from 2BN that, they are also in critical need, even though I had earlier directed that we keep 2 as strategic reserves, but I have to release one to Farafenye, and they are also happy. But the point I want to make is that, even though the desire is there, I have no doubt that the government would want to keep every security service and even every ministry, every department and agency of the country to be able to get the resources they require to accelerate the development of the country. But we should also remember and recognize that we are not very endowed as a nation in terms of resources. And therefore, the little we have, we should use them judiciously and for the purposes it is meant. Most of the time, the culture around is that when it comes to public properties, people don't respect them. It's time that we change that mindset. Whatever we are given for the purpose of our departments, we should treat them and use them like we use our own properties. if we take good care of them and maintain them properly, hopefully, you know, however little they may be, they will go a long way. And if there is additions, it will be able to, you know, solve most of our critical problems. By and large, Governor, we are here as usual to visit our men, to review their living and working conditions, and also to interface with them. Last year, you all know that there was this issue of our TACOS, which was in the making. Thank God we want to report that the TACOS have since been approved, and then we are in the phase implementation of the TACOS. And then those are some of the issues that improve the welfare of the soldiers. And I'm sure today, probably we are not expecting them to complain about the salary or the allowances are not enough. Of course, we cannot give what everybody wants, but gradually, if we solve one problem, maybe next time with other budgetary allocations, we can solve others, and gradually the welfare and then the morale will increase. So we want to thank you once again for the usual guidance and to assure you that, yes, we have some of the challenges listed here, and in addition to this, we will be having a key leader engagement with the communities where they will also listen keenly, and together we can chart the problems, we will solve them together as they come. On that note, I want to thank you and want to appreciate your leadership and to say we are always happy to be here, and inshallah we are inspired by your commitment and your leadership. Thank you, sir.